This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, West Hazleton Mayor Frank Schmidt will join us tonight on FYI, along with several other local newsmakers. Hi everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Ken Cara. Let's start with headlines from FYI News 13 and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. The man looking to unseat incumbent State Representative Jerry Knowles has dropped out of the race. James Barton has withdrawn from the Republican race for the 124th Legislative District seat in the May primary. Barton is facing possible DUI charges stemming from a February crash in West Brunswick Township. Charges originally filed against Barton were dismissed on March 19th. However, the Schuylkill County DA has said the charges would be refiled. Petitions are being circulated by some students of the Hazleton Area Academy of Sciences in Butler Township. The action was triggered by proposed changes to the admission policy for the Hazleton Area School District's first ever magnet school. Junior Brittany Szymanski tells FYI that approximately 350 people have signed thus far. She told us, quote, "We are circulating the petition because we are leaders in the school and felt the need to take action against the unfair proposed lottery acceptance policy," unquote. The district is looking at possible changes due to an overwhelming number of applications received for the upcoming school year. The school board will meet tomorrow night at 6:15. Residents voiced concerns last night over truck traffic near the Pilot truck stop in Sugarloaf Township. State Representative Tara Toohill hosted the meeting along with Sugarloaf Township's officials. State Senator John Gordner was also in attendance. Complaints range from trucks parking illegally to driving on private property and blocking roads. Toohill said trucks do not realize it is a residential community. Officials hope to find a solution to a problem that has been plaguing residents for 20 years. And state police are investigating an early morning two-car crash along Route 924 in Hazel Township. One man suffered head and neck injuries and was flown to St. Luke's Hospital in Bethlehem from the Hazleton Regional Airport. The other driver refused treatment. Hazleton City Council voted 4-1 against him, but Tom Pribula will remain acting city administrator. City Council questioned his residency, salary, and whether or not he would attend council meetings and whether he would follow a budget drawn up by council or the mayor. A formal arraignment is set for June 27th for 49-year-old Donald Walton of Butler Township. He is charged with intentionally or knowingly returning a firearm to a defendant. The charge was filed more than a year after the deaths of his brother and sister-in-law, John and Stacy Walton. The couple was found shot to death in their Butler Township home in December of 2012. Police ruled it a murder-suicide. As a result of a PFA, Donald was to keep John's guns. However, the PFA was later withdrawn. Police say the county court had not given permission for the weapons to be returned to John Walton. For breaking news, head to our Facebook and Twitter pages and also StandardSpeaker.com. Here's your preview of Thursday's Standard Speaker. State Representative Tara Toohill spoke at this morning's Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce Red Carpet Breakfast, and one of the topics she discussed was the possible closing of United Rehabilitation Services in Hazleton. Find out what she had to say in tomorrow's paper. Plus, 2 people are accused of selling heroin in the city of Hazleton. The full details will be in Thursday's Standard Speaker. Today's newsmaker on FYI is West Hazleton Mayor Frank Schmidt. He talks with our Lisa Sugart about what's going on in the borough.
Today we're pleased to welcome West Hazleton Mayor Frank Schmidt to our studios. Mayor, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I know one of the priority projects that the borough has right now is a brand new police station. Tell us where we stand with that, because you've had to scale down the project due to a lack of funding.
Right. About 3 years ago, we put in for $450,000 from the gambling money and to rebuild a police station at the annex. So we received $250,000, but next year they told us we would get the $200,000, which we never received, unfortunately. So we put out the bids, and the bids were so enormous that we could not afford to start the police station. So the Streets Department and the Job Corps worked inside the building to cut down on the cost so we can rebid again. So we rebid it again, and the bids still come quite high. So, but we're still going to go through with it because the building that we're using now, the police station, it's not handicapped accessible, and So now we have to take out a loan to complete it. And I think in about 2 months, we're going to start redoing the police station, fixing the police station.
How crucial is this to your borough?
Oh, it's very crucial because, like I said, our police station is very deplorable. The windows, the floors, the heat, everything else, it's outdated. And when a handicapped person comes to the police station, the officer has to go outside, whether it's raining, snowing, or wind or anything, and talk to the person. They can't come inside because they can't climb the steps. And another thing too, it'll be right out on Broad Street, and it'll be handicapped accessible. So it's going to be good. The people can see it right out on Broad Street. They don't have to come down the side street or anything. You know, it's going to be right there in front.
All righty. And I was just talking to you, and you mentioned too that you're going to be cleaning up in the borough, so a reminder to residents about that?
Right, in about 2 weeks, we're going to start sweeping streets. And if somebody wants to sweep their own property, make piles, leave them there, don't put them in containers, just leave them there, and our streets department will come over and pick them up.
All right, well, very good. Please come and visit us often and let us know what's happening in the borough of West Hazelton.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
West Hazelton Mayor Frank Schmidt, reporting for FYI, I'm Lisa Sugart.
Thank you, Lisa. And today's From the Mayor's Desk comes from the Borough of Freeland. Freeland Borough Council will hold a work session tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. at the Ambulance Building on Johnson Street. We want to thank everyone who entered and participated in our Twitter Tuesday contest. Congratulations to Matt Croshaw. He won $20 in cash and a 1-week membership to Core Fitness. If you didn't win, don't worry. Join us for Facebook Friday on FYI. And remember, you can interact with us on our Facebook and Twitter pages as well. For Your Information with Janine Mazurkevich is next within your community. Excuse me, For Your Information, Janine Mazurkevich comes in next within your community. And later in sports, I sit down with Dave Seaman, the sports editor for the Standard Speaker, to talk about spring sports and much, much more. We'll be right back.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazelton Standard Speaker.
We're in your community once again. This time we're in downtown Hazelton at a brand new business called the Sage Exchange, and we're talking about what's the sense? You know, we're all looking to save money, but to also decorate our homes, come up with new ideas for our businesses. You can do that with Tamara. She's the owner of the Sage Exchange, and we're going to be here every Wednesday. She's going to offer tips and ideas, decorating, correct?
Decorating.
I'm a big fan of this because I always like to save money and decorate on a budget and look at changing different rooms in my house and in my business, so you can do this with your expertise. Tell us about your background.
Well, my background actually was in human resources. I worked in human resources for 18 years.
Okay.
Started my own operations consulting business and traveled all over the country. While I was in Colorado, I had an interesting friend I met there, and she worked for HGTV. And I did some project management for her, and my heart just went crazy because I loved interior design. It's what I wanted to do my whole life. My mom could make anything out of anything.
Right.
And my dad was a designer of kitchens. So I have it, pretty much I grew up with it, so my heart really, really wanted to be back in it. So when I came back, I thought, I'm gonna do what I love to do.
I love it.
Gave everything up, and here I am.
And I've seen her work with 2 pennies and make her place look beautiful here in downtown Hazelton. Today we're talking about windows and no-so window treatments, right?
Yes.
All right, so behind us is actually a window treatment that you designed, and it cost you next to nothing.
It was pennies. What I did was, no-sew is great. You don't need anything to do them. You can take sheets and drape them over your curtain rods. I actually got this material for $1 a yard at Walmart in the bin. Wow. And it's so pretty, I loved it. So all I did is I just tacked it up and just pinned with little push pins, just to give it a little bit of, flair to it. And I mean, you think it's $1,
Now you could do something that has a lot of coverage, or then you could do something like we're going to show you next, dealing with tips with rags. I love this because it's so easy. Anyone, your kids can help with this.
Yeah, I love these, and you know what? It's so great because it doesn't have to be even or anything. You just use old clothes. Denim is awesome. Burlap is awesome. If I have the heart to cut up those jeans, I think I'm going to fit in again one day.
Flannel?
But anything, flannel's great. Flannel doesn't fray. You can use anything. The top sheet, I know my kids never use the top sheet.
Right.
And just cut that up.
And this is great for kids too, because if they're always changing their room or their theme, why not dress it up with their window treatments? Right. Finally, we want to talk about dealing with branches and burlap, because you're really good at this. And in this area, we have so much to play with Mother Nature. We might as well use what we have for free.
Absolutely. I love the woods. I love everything in there. Now this isn't done, but this is just an old branch. I grabbed some grapevine. I actually weave that around. And if you're working with grapevine, you want to make sure it's wet. But this I just pulled down. Weave burlap. I'm going to put some fabric through it, put some dried flowers. Everything is dead right now. Get out and pick it. Spray it. But these look really nice just over a window. If you just get some hooks and just hang it over a window. Then you have your scenery. This can come up. You can pull this up. And one big tip with decorating windows: a lot of people, when they have their window, put their curtain rod right here. You can extend your curtain rod out and have your curtain out here.
Right. So
it makes the window look so much bigger.
And you're going to have more tips on your website. Your website is?
It's thesageexchange.wix.com.
And next week we're talking about wreaths and baskets and spring. And I'm having Tamara decorate the front of my house. So join us every Wednesday right here on FYI.
You are looking at large rocks, and if you're from Hazleton, you probably recognize them. If you're not, let me explain. These are the Ott-Miller rocks at the Ott-Miller Playground on a windy, cold day in the city. Let's check out News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton. Tonight will be mostly clear with a low around 12. Wind chill getting down will feel like -1. On Thursday, increasing clouds with a high near 37. Thursday night, a slight chance of rain before 4 a.m. It will be cloudy with a low around 32. Friday, there's a chance of rain or freezing rain before 8 a.m. The high will get up near 50. Friday night, a chance of showers will be mostly cloudy, the low around 46. For Saturday, showers are likely, but the high will be near 52. Saturday night, showers again likely, low around 35. For Sunday, partly sunny with a high near 49. And Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 33. Enjoy a night at the museum at the Hazleton Area High School on Thursday. There's dinner, poetry, and a show. We talked with some of the students who are in the show and one historical figure from 2 different times in his life. I don't really know how to describe this, so I'll let the video speak for itself. I'm amongst royalty here with King Henry VIII and actually his younger self and his older self as we get ready for a night at the museum here at the Hazleton Area High School. Now, King, tell me a little bit about your older self. You hang out with him a lot in this show?
No, I do not.
You don't? Why not?
No, well, because he's full of himself and because I am obviously better.
You're not full of yourself.
Well, it depends on the way that you look at it, I guess.
All right, and older King Henry, how do you respond to your younger version of yourself? What's it like being with him?
Every time I'm with them, I think what a mistake I made.
All right, so agree to disagree. Now, you could hang out with the 2 King Henrys and also these 2 ladies over here are now joined by Grazia, right, and Carol. And Grazia, you are Ophelia in the show, so you get to act, but you also had a role in writing this show, in creative writing. What was that like? Was that your first time doing this? What was that experience like?
It was my very first time writing a play, and it was actually pretty difficult. I mean, I expected it to be difficult, but it was very difficult just starting from scratch and writing everyone's parts. So it wasn't the easiest thing to do, but it was a lot of fun.
What's it like seeing it come together now as you go through dress rehearsal?
I love it. I think it's so cool that I was part of writing it and that students were actually, the people who wrote this. I think it's really cool.
All right. And now, Carol, in the show, you are Detective Goodwin. So tell me about that. You enjoy acting. Talk about this show a little bit. What's it like?
Well, it's a lot of fun, and it combines all of the departments, like our art department, our drama department, and our creative writing classes. It brings them all together, which is really cool. And we all just get together and have a lot of fun.
How nice is it being around all of the creative minds almost at the Hazleton Area High School? You have the, people who could draw well, you have the people who write, you have the people who act. This doesn't happen too often.
It's a fun experience. There's a lot of us and there's a lot of different personalities and it's kind of just a big hullabaloo.
What would you say for people, tell them why they should come out to see the show?
You should come see this because we have the greatest people, we have good food, we have good entertainment, and for $10, what else do you want?
Right, so
it's great.
Thank you guys very much. Good luck with the show, and that is March 27th here at the Hazleton Area High School. It's night at the museum. If you are interested in attending, here's some more information. Tickets for dinner, the poetry slam, and the show are $10 for adults and $6 for students. If you want to just go to the show, it's $5, and kids under 5 are free. And if you are interested in the trifecta of fun, make sure you get there early because tickets for dinner, the slam, and the show are limited. We move on to our community calendar. Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce is getting ready for their annual job fair. It's the 18th annual. It's being held at Genetti's on Route 309 from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. and again being run by the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce. The event is free and open to the public. To view our complete community calendar, visit us on Facebook. You can also drop by our website, ssptv.com. Here's today's midday winning lottery numbers. The Daily 720, the Big 4 5622, Quinto 30070, and Treasure Hunt 1, 8, 10, 19, and 29. FYI, we'll be right back.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Dave Seaman, the sports editor for the Standard Speaker, joins us now. Dave will be joining us from time to time here on FYI with the new format as we partner with the Standard Speaker. And Dave, spring sports season in Northeast Pennsylvania, and this is just how it goes. It's very cold out there. A lot of things being canceled. You did have some thoughts on spring sports and how maybe they can switch things up here in Northeast Pennsylvania.
Well, yeah, you always get spring sports season in March, and my thought is why don't you have it in September? When school's starting. The weather's much better then for an extended period of time. It'll last until October. You'd have to rearrange some schedules, but I think that's something that could be worked out. And you'd have to see how many football players play baseball. You might have that overlap, but all in all, you might have a better, more productive sports season because right now our teams are they're at a disadvantage to other teams from other parts of the state, perhaps where it might be warmer, less snow on the ground. And until our players get playing, and I've talked to Gino Cara, the baseball coach. He said they're on the field one time before they played a game, and that was on the Harmon Guy Stadium field. So it's not conducive to good baseball, good softball, good track, whatever.
So is this something maybe coaches have mentioned as well? I mean, just maybe even of throwing ideas out there to see.
It's just something that's come up in discussion from time to time, and I think when you look at the overall scope of sports in the area too, it just seems like spring sports takes a back seat, and then the season goes so fast, and you really, it's here in a blink of an eye, and it's gone. And I think those kids that play spring sports, only spring sports, they don't get the full effect of a competitive sports season.
And speaking of spring sports, someone I'm really looking forward to seeing is Sal Biazzi playing baseball. Obviously, starred for the Cougar basketball team, was amazing there. And we could start there with winter sports. You wrote a great column, I thought, about how he may be, if maybe the best player in our area, and definitely one of the best in the state. Can you talk about what you saw from Sal and how impressed you were?
Well, once in a while you get an opportunity. You're fortunate enough to cover an athlete from the time he was in Little League all the way up through high school, and Sal Biazzi is one of those athletes who I followed starting in Little League, and you just had a feeling, the Russ Kanzlers, the Michael DeMarcos, the John D'Agostinos from way back, that you just knew they had a special flair about them, and he didn't disappoint on the basketball court. Definitely one of the best players to come out of the Hazleton area in a long, long time, and he proved that, taking his team on his back and really put them on the brink of doing something special. That game against Chester was one of the most memorable performances I've seen in a long time, and he did it on a bum ankle. He scored 34 points against a Chester team that ended up losing in the semifinals, and Chester's known for spectacular defense, and Sal, they didn't have an answer for Sal, and maybe if the Cougars had a little bit more time, Sal and his teammates, you can't discount what his teammates did too, they would have had a chance to do something.
We'll have more with Dave later this week. We'll talk about Russ Kanzler and the Yankees and March Madness. But for right now, we are all out of sports. It's Wednesday, and here's some delicious alliteration. It's signature steak night at Bottlenecks. All of their signature steaks are only $9.95 plus bottomless soup and salad for only $2.95.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the Tamaqua Area Chamber of Commerce with the Schuylkill Trout Stocking Association will be holding a trout derby on the Little Schuylkill River from April 19th through June 14th. Pre-registration forms are available at the Chamber with a sign-up fee of only $10. For more info, call 570-668-1880. Another announcement, a book launch event featuring author Diane Vernitsky-Jelen, a Shenandoah native, is set for 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on April 5th at the Shenandoah Area Free Public Library. Jelen is the author of My Resurrected Heart, A Codependent's Journey to Healing. For info about this, call 561-707-5642. And finally, remember to save the date and pre-register for Ladies Night 4 Sight on Friday, May 16th at Carmen's Country Inn. All proceeds will benefit community services for Sight, and they will be featuring music, appetizers, a diamond drop, and much more. Call 570-582-5302 for additional information. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Michael Soltis Jr. of drums. Arrangements will be announced by the Harmon Funeral Home. Joseph Yunachko, formerly of Hazelton. Mass is Friday at 10 a.m. in the St. Bernard Church in Rockville, Connecticut. Friends may call Friday at the church beginning at 9 a.m. Albert H. Diaz Sr., formerly of Highland. Services will be held at the convenience of the family from the McHugh-Wilczek Funeral Home. Mary Biesel Murata of Doylestown. Funeral Mass is Friday at 10:30 a.m. in the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. Friends may call Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. at the Shelley Funeral Home. And Ruth V. Chunko, formerly of Harley. Funeral is Friday at 9:30 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazelton. Palm Cross is now on sale for April 13th. Call 570-454-0111.
My name is Leanne Falabelle. I'm the Vice President of Marketing at the Greater Hazelton Chamber of Commerce. And today I'm going to talk about our Great Pennsylvania Cleanup. Every year our chamber coordinates this event, and what we do is we ask businesses, residents throughout the Greater Hazelton area to come out one day, it's Saturday, April 26th, and clean up your area roadways, parks, just even if it's out in front of your house, out in front of your business. What we do is we provide the bags, we provide safety vests and gloves. That's all provided by PennDOT. And we coordinate the groups to come pick up their supplies. What they do is clean up areas, like I said, outside of their businesses or houses, wherever in Greater Hazelton, and then they leave the bags behind, and we coordinate the townships and municipalities to pick up the bags. So, like I said, this is in cooperation with PennDOT and our local boroughs and municipalities. So if anybody would be interested in participating in this one-day cleanup event, which is again Saturday, April 26th, they can call our chamber office, 570-455-1509, or they can go to our calendar of events on our website and click on April 26th. Our website is hazeltonchamber.org, and we have a registration form there.
Tomorrow on FYI, Mark Catcher joins us from the Standard Speaker to discuss local news headlines, and we'll check out the Tamaqua Area Community Arts Center. They're looking for some help, and we'll let you know with what tomorrow on FYI. Now remember to visit us on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll all get together again tomorrow at 5 o'clock right here for another edition of FYI. Until then, take it easy, everyone.